Lesson 3-5, Example 2. Here we're going to look at, our objective is learning to multiply decimals by whole numbers and by decimals. Well, here we have two decimals and we're multiplying them together, 3/10 and 4/10. Well, when I'm multiplying decimals, I can set that up very much the same way as I set up a whole number multiplication. So I'm just going to put my 3/10 times my 4/10. I'm going to put one on top of the other, show what operation I'm doing, and then I'm going to multiply just like I would with whole numbers. So 3 times 4 is 12. That 1 comes up. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 0. 0 times 3 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. I'm going to add all that up. 2, 1, 0. Now, I still have my decimals to consider. And when you're multiplying decimals, the number of decimal places in the problem is going to be the same number of decimal places that you come up with in your solution. So I'm going to count how many decimal places I have here, and that will be the number of decimal places I need to put into my solution. So I have 1 decimal place here, 2 decimal places here. So if I imagine that my decimal place is here, I need to move over 2 decimal places. 1, 2. So the solution to 3/10 multiplied by 4/10 is 12 hundredths. Same number of decimal places. Let's take a look at another one. Here we have 7 hundredths multiplied by 8/10. Well, first of all, I can think of it what an estimate might be. And 8/10 is awfully close to 1. And I can keep my 7 hundredths the same because anything multiplied by 1 is that number. So my estimate, whatever my solution is, it should be pretty close to 7 hundredths. Let's find an exact solution now. So I'm going to set up just like I would with normal multiplication. And I'm going to put one number on top and the other right below it, and I'm going to multiply. And notice here that I'm not needing to line up my decimals. If I were adding or subtracting place value, I want to be adding and subtracting the same types of things, so I would line up my decimal points to line up my place value. When I'm multiplying, it's a little bit different. I don't need to do that. But I'm going to run through just like I normally would. 7 times 8 is 56. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 5 is 5. 8 times 0 is 0. 0. 0 times 7 is 0. 0 times 0 is 0. And 0 times 0 is 0. Add those up. 6, 5, 0, 0. And the last step, it's not 56, because my estimate is 7 hundredths. And 56 is a long way from 7 hundredths. So I need to remember that I need to add back in my decimal, bring my decimal back. Well, I want to see how many place values I have up here. That'll be the same number I need down here. So I have 1 place value, 2 place values, and here I have another one. So I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to bring my decimal in right there. 56 thousandths is pretty close to 7 hundredths. If I were to round off, if I were to round off the nearest hundredth, this would be 6 hundredths, and 6 hundredths is very close to 7 hundredths. So my solution to 7 hundredths multiplied by 8/10 is 56 thousandths. Let's take a look at one more. Here I have 1 and 34 hundredths multiplied by 2 and 5/10. Well, again, I'm going to think of what an estimate is, just so that I can use that as a double check for my my exact answer. Well, 1 and 34 hundredths is very close to 1, and 2 and 5/10. We'll keep that the same. So my estimate, I should come up with an answer fairly close to 2 and 5/10. Since I rounded down, it will probably be a little larger than 2 and 5/10. Let's find the exact answer. 1 and 34 hundredths multiplied by 2 and 5/10. Set it up just like I would a normal a whole number multiplication problem. 4 times 5 is 20. 15, 17. 5 times 1 is 5, 6. 0. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. And 2 times 1 is 2. Add those up. 3,350. Wait. It's a long way from 2 and 5/10. My decimal. Always have to remember to bring that decimal back in. I might ignore it for a few seconds, but I need to make sure I bring it back in my final solution. So I need to count up the place values, 1, 2, 3, and bring that back into my solution. 1, 2, 3. And 3 and 35 and 3 and 350 thousandths is not too far off from 2 and 5/10. So my solution to 1 and 34 hundredths multiplied by 2 and 5/10 is 3 and 350 thousandths.